Yep. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, my YouTube family. I am simultaneously live on Randomz tonight on YouTube as well as on on Facebook on my Makeup with FifiRich Facebook page. And this is so exciting. This is a blessing. I'm so honored to be here today. I never thought that a day like this would come. I know there was a time I actually tried going live on these two platforms using my laptop and my phone, but then I kind of just let it slide because I was looking for, a device with a great camera quality. So now it just pleases me to come back on um, and do a live, be with you guys on two platforms at the same time. So this is a sign of growth, and I just want to give God all the glory and make mention of His name. So once you're here, just let me know you're here. Just comment and say, "Hey." I'm so excited to be here, you guys. Once you're here, also just be sharing, share. Thank you so much. For those of you guys that are not so familiar with Randomz is a radio type of talk show where we deal with random concerns. That's really what it is. We just come on with random concerns and we come and discuss, we come and talk about all of these things on here. So that's what Randomz is about. I'm so grateful. It's not an old program, but I believe it's very relevant. So tonight on Randomz, we're gonna be talking with a guest called Beryl, Bellona Beryl. She is originally from Zimbabwe. She's also based in Zimbabwe. She does quite a few things. But let me just start by introducing myself. My name is FifiRich. I am a makeup artist and a content creator. Okay, and I am a Botswana who's based in Botswana. So I'm so excited. Watcher, please just comment and let me know you're here. Just comment, because the beautiful thing about this kind of stream that I'm doing is you get to interact and engage with me. So please just let me know you're here so that I shout you out. So my name is Fifi Rich. I'm a makeup artist and an inspirator. My makeup artistry speaks to beginners, people that are just starting out on the makeup journey. They just want to improve, they just want to advance, and people that are generally on a budget, low to middle type of income people. That's the kind of people my makeup artistry speaks to. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Who is this? You mind commenting, please, if you can? I just want to shout you out. And I am an inspirator. I'm just gonna say this for the sake of those that are on Facebook that may not know a lot of what I do on YouTube, because mostly I'm on YouTube. So I am an inspirator and I do impactful work. I have programs like Mary Who Is Ready. Mary Who Is Ready is a program that deals with all things premarital readiness, relationship dynamics, and marriage issues as well. We have conversations with the married, and by the grace of God, we're just going to be having more stakeholders. We're having stakeholders coming up like psychologists, therapists, counselors, marriage counselors, social workers, pastors, and I believe lawyers are on that way as well. And so we just deal with that. I am all for impact. Impact just means your life is getting better, my life is getting better. I do believe in pursuing knowledge, because I believe that in the days of trouble, in the days of hardship, whether in your marriage, in any ramification of your life, in any area of your life, is what you know that saves you, is what you know that speaks for you. It's not how you feel. Okay, so that's why we have people that love each other divorcing. We have people that once loved each other breaking up, and it's so sad, it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. Please just feel free to share this broadcast, because we're going to have a very interesting topic tonight. Okay, so apart from programs like Mary Who's Ready, I have makeup tutorials on my YouTube channel. It's beginner friendly stuff, really, things that anybody can do, anybody can follow and learn from. I do consultations. I have a makeup brush set line that I sell. And I have programs like Let's Talk, where I do my makeup live and we'll discuss a topic, like gender-based violence, are women to blame for sexual harassment and things like that, you see. So I love it. And then we have Randomz is where I don't show my face, we don't show our face, because it's a radio type of show, you see. So I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight for that and many other things. We have different things. We have the Greater Impact Corner. The Greater Impact Corner is a program that deals with inner healing for spirit, soul, and body. This is where we bring but this is where we bring the issues of life and we marry them with the matters of the heart. Oftentimes we've had traumas before, traumatic experiences, and things that we just haven't been able to overcome or get over from our past, and we probably just don't know how to do it. So that's why we have the Greater Impact Corner. It's here for things like inner healing. So I believe that every program, by the grace of God, is very relevant to all of us one way or another, which is on my YouTube channel. But by the grace of God, I will, I'll start to incorporate you, my Facebook people, into my programs every now and then until we are stable. So thank you so much. Please, if you are on, hey, Legitous Eve. Hi, my lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, mom. Please just share me out, Legitous. If you guys are on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Give me a like. And if you want to support the things that I do, the work that I do, you'd love to see longevity on here, feel free to email me. My email address is available on both Facebook and YouTube. Legitous, I'm live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time tonight. Isn't this a blessing? It's a milestone, my sister. I really thank God for that. So yeah, you guys, tonight, as I said, we're having a guest. Let me just take this time to introduce the guest of the day. Her name is Bellona Beryl. I love both her names. They are so cool. Bellona Beryl, and she is a Zimbabwean lady. She's based in Zimbabwe, and she is a married woman. She's a mother. She's an entrepreneur. Um, she is the owner of Professional Presence. This is a school for children and young adults. They deal with beauty. They have the element of a beauty academy, which does training of beauty courses such as makeup artistry, nail tech, massage, braiding, and weaving, and things like that. So you might want to get with them if you're into beauty therapy things. Okay, and she's also a style and image consultant. So she's an amazing, amazing woman. If you want to connect with her, you can just reach her on Instagram at Bellona Beryl or Professional Presence Zim. Bellona.Beryl on Instagram or Professional Presence Zim. So she's one of the ladies that I really admire. I've had her services myself, and she's just amazing. We work together in different regards. So that's so awesome. So you guys, without wasting much time, let me just get right into why we are here, the topic of the day. So how to not let other people's issues be your issues. How do you not allow what is affecting another person to affect you? That is the issue of today. Something, just like I said, Randomz is a program where we bring random concerns, and I'm just going to share a story. I had an encounter recently, and this encounter is what led me to this show today, to this actual topic. I was not at my house for some time, for the past 2 months. So the first month, I was in another village. I had a temporary engagement that side. So I had asked for accommodation from a childhood friend, and there was the aunt and the mom at the family house. So I went there, I got a warm welcome. It's always good initially, it's always good when you arrive. And so I was living with the aunt of my childhood friend for a month, you see. So um, I remember that as time went by, I started noticing uh, a change in behavior and attitude. It wasn't like when I first got there. So what I saw happening, she started just acting some way. Uh, I saw abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, not physical, but emotional, verbal, psychological. In that this person turned out to be so much of a control freak and a very vocal one for that matter. Anything you do is not good, too much complaints, those kind of women. So typically what would happen, even just the cutlery that you use, basic cutlery in the kitchen, I was restricted. I was, told things like I shouldn't use this plate. I can break it. Imagine somebody at my age, I can break a plate. you know, uh, Things like scooping out peanut butter from peanut butter jar. I had to be told, you can't use a teaspoon to scoop peanut butter out from a peanut butter jar. You are supposed to use a knife, a bread knife. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, lady, woman, I just need to get this thing done. In my mind, I just need the peanut butter on the bread and I need to eat and move on with my life. So those are some of the dynamics that I saw. And you see, sometimes when I cook, I'll be told, the food that I cooked is just is in my language deep water, which means that the food is not well cooked at all, and even the presentation of that, hey, I'm not gonna eat your food, this is not worth eating, I can't eat this, and you know what, I'm gonna eat bread, I'll drink it with tea, it's okay, and you've cooked. So these are some of the things I've seen. Sometimes, I got very uncomfortable. It got to the point where now I had to even wait for her to go to bed at night to sleep so that I could go get something to eat from the kitchen. And I remember there was a time when I got up at past 10 p.m. just to look for something to eat. And she came to the kitchen. She followed me to the kitchen, pretended to be drinking water. Meanwhile, she was just there to look at what I was doing, what I was there to do in the kitchen. So, what do you guys think about these dynamics? Is it something that you can stay and just tolerate for as long as you have to, or is it something that ultimately drives you away, or do you actually just respond to these things? Because this is like somebody who's old enough to be my mother, so I also had to be respectful, I had to just honor her, so I'd keep quiet, I'd just keep quiet. But the funny thing is, despite somebody doing some of these things, when somebody's abusing you, when you buy food they eat, when you bring something they want to partake, you see, they don't refuse. That's the funny thing, whatever you give them. And actually, this one was very picky. Like, you couldn't just buy any bread from anywhere. You have to buy a bread that is quite expensive from a particular place, and you don't work. You're thinking, but you don't work. You're not doing much, but you are so picky and so arrogant. So those are the dynamics that I had to deal with. And then I thought, okay, maybe this is just one way of shaping my character. So I am just gonna suck it up for some time. But something, it got worse. It got worse and worse and worse, to the point where even there were remarks about my prayer life, praying, the kind of things I listen to, the kind of spiritual material I listen to. I was just hearing a whole lot of things. I was like, oh no, you're even coming for me spiritually as well. That's kind of messed up. But you see, I just wanted to manage it. I tried. Initially, I was like, okay, 2 months, maybe I'll manage. Because even when I first asked for accommodation, I was like, no, I'm going to be here just for a month. Because I know women, the dynamics of women, you see, a woman cannot stay with another woman for too long, especially if the other is visiting. So if you're dealing with women, I would encourage you, just do what you need, but stay for a short time and go. It's better you visit for short periods of time at intervals than to be there for too long, because that's just another complication. You see, you start to fight, you start to look at each other some way, you start to see people's weaknesses, and you don't really want to do that with people that you relate with. So but the thing is, over time I lost my peace. I woke up one morning and I realized that my peace has been utterly, completely tampered with. And it's to the point where even my prayer life is a down and out. And I was like, no, I have to do something. So for me, that was the match that lit the fire. That was the thing that got me saying, no, I'm going out. I didn't fight. It was just a truly smooth transition. There was no fighting. There was no, funny vibes. But that's what led me to go. And then after I left, I had left my clothes, some of my clothes there, because I was told that I could come get them at a later stage. So I could just take the luggage that I could handle, going to the next accommodation, then I'll come back. So when I got to the next accommodation, now I had left some things that side. And remember, I had not done some laundry. There was some things that I was using that belonged to my friend, like the gown, a pillowcase, a sheet, because I had to relocate under, you know, um, strange circumstances where the host was going to a wedding and then it was cloudy. The weather was not conducive to wash. So I left some things there that I felt like I had to wash them before I left. So I went to the next accommodation, and then as I was there, I was just trying to come back to go back to wash. I had to go wash the things, and for some time, we really just, it took us a while just talking about having back and forth conversations about I have to go back and wash those things. Please notice that these are these are just two house gowns, a pillowcase, a sheet, maybe a towel, a few items. But we had like back to back conversations on WhatsApp. Can I come? Hello, can I come, please? No, we are not home. No, we are not home. No, I'm at a wedding. Next thing, oh, I'm the one working, and we just kind of could not meet. We couldn't meet for some time because of different engagements in between my attempts to go there. Or there was no soap one day, the next day there was this, there was always, things coming up. So I got tired, and one day I just went and um I got the things, I got my clothes and some hand me downs. And when I left and I got to the accommodation that I was now at, I saw a message and it said, "Hey, you know something? I could have asked you to take these things from here to go and wash them where you stay and bring them back here." I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "You know something?" To her, "Auntie, these gown things." She said, "What? Have you forgotten about it?" I was like, "Wow." So I was trying to show her that this thing shouldn't make us fight. So I must take things that don't even belong to me from the house and take them to a house that doesn't even belong to me to wash them there and take them back. Just imagine the cost in between. Imagine. She can't even afford soap herself, but I should be having all these costs just because of that. So I said, auntie. So, I felt bad and I told my friend, "Hey, this is what's going on." And I said, "Let me tell you something. I didn't shit in those things. I never pooped on those things. They don't have blood stains. I never went out and, they're not soiled in any way. They are not dirty. It's just that I wore them and I wanted to wash them, but there's been issues that have been restricting me from going. Do you see how it is?" And for somebody to now say you could have taken them where you now stay, wash them there and bring them. And it's almost like maybe she shuns me. It's like she's disgusted by me. That was the energy that I was getting on her messages, you know. And I said to my friend, "I'm gonna do this just to protect our relationship." But my friend said to me, "You know something, this person is really some way. She's troublesome. So if she's giving you a hard time, block her. Don't worry. I will talk to her." And this is after I told my friend that I feel humiliated and it's like I'm not human. What kind of a thing is this? Can you tell me something if you had married me, because this is a male childhood friend, but we're not married or anything. But I said, if you had married me by now and I had an in-law like this, does it mean that the time I could get sick, she was going to say, "Heal fast, heal very fast, and wash your things"? Is this how it was going to be? I'm just saying, think of this. Is that how she was going to treat me? She was never going to have hospitality to say, "This person is not feeling well, let me just help her." So is this what it is? Watch her, please just comment, let me know who you are. I'd love to shout you out, okay? I'd love to shout you out. Just comment and say, "Hey, we're talking about how to not let people's issues affect you." All right. So I was in such a situation, you know, over the past 2 months or so. Those are the dynamics that I was dealing with. And I also said to my friend, you know something, um, this life that we're living, it's a real life. It's a very interesting, you know, life, and things really happen. Can you just tell me something? Right now you're not in the village, and right now the aunt is alone. So if something happens, is she going to be able to reach out to me? If anything happens that I'm the only person who can help her, how is it going to be? Tell me something. How do I go and help a person who's treating me like this today? How is that going to be? Just tell me something. This is the real life. There's something called future, and it's very real. It's very real. Okay. So that's the whole dynamic of it in essence. And I just want to give you this scenario to kind of help you to understand the mind behind this show tonight, that this is how I came on here to say, oh, guys, you know, in life, we come across different people. We're all coming together from different walks of life, different backgrounds, and you're going to find that you're going to meet a lot of people who have issues. They've been affected by one thing or another, somehow or another. And sometimes these people have not known how to overcome these things. It's people that have not been able to navigate through traumatic issues, traumatic exposures and experiences, terrible, painful challenges, and so they take it out on others. So that's typically what it is. And so my question becomes, how can I not let another person's issues to be my issues? Looking at a scenario like this, I know all of us have a scenario one way or another where we've been maltreated, we've been abused, you know, one way or another. And so sometimes now these things happen with people that are God given, relationships that we cannot do anything about. I mean, relationships of people that we cannot separate from. For instance, it could be your parents. You may have a mother, a father who's undergone some things that they never recovered from, and it's now coming out on you. It may be a spouse. You may have a husband, a wife, you know, who's experienced the most and now is coming out on you. It may even be children, it may be relatives, aunties, uncles. At least some of these relatives you can keep a distance, but there's, you know, incidents where you can't actually, you know, keep a distance from um 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 these things. So let me just attend to my guest. Yeah. She's asking if I'm live already, so let me just let her know that I'm live and she could just come on. Okay, usually when I'm live, people say they can't find me. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Let me see if I could just let me see if I could let me just see if I could maybe let me just see if I could share a link, and if she could just come, if she could just come on direct. So thank you so much for being here. So this is the scenario that I'm saying, guys. So this lady, you know, the abuse that I suffered under her, under her house, the emotional abuse, the mental abuse, the psychological abuse, the spiritual abuse, to the point of leaving my, you know, my losing my peace that I suffered. I just know, and I can assure you that the problem is with her. The way she was behaving, it just went to show that the issue is really with her, it's not with me. And so I now found out also one of the reasons why it was easier for me to understand is because I I was aware that this lady is filing for a divorce. You know, she's dealing with, you know, she was, you know, at the time we were together, she was just preparing to file for a divorce. And so with this, I know that it was never going to be an easy thing. And this divorce is being filed 8 years after marital separation. So that's another dynamic. I just couldn't help asking myself, what would make somebody to wait for 8 years before filing for a divorce? What would make a person to wait for 8 years before filing for a divorce? You know? And so this is just a dynamic that I am very interested in looking at because I'm currently studying women. I'm currently observing women, and according to my observation so far, women are some of the most dangerous creatures that a young woman can ever come into contact with. And I have my reasons. They can be awesome, but it can really just be crazy. Hi, Beryl. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Good evening. I think we have Beryl, but
It is not
her
very clear from
mic
where
is
I
off.
am.
All right, I think I can't hear you so well.
Hi,
Can you hear
Fifi.
me very well? Hi, Beryl. Welcome.
Thank you, Fifi.
You're welcome. But I can't hear you very well. I mean, your volume is too low.
All right, I'm increasing the volume now. I'm also getting a lot of interference from your side.
Okay.
Can
Okay,
you hear
if
me
you can
better
work
now?
on the volume. I can hear you, but it's not good at all. Is there an option on your, let me see. Okay, if you can just tap on the screen display and tap on edit mic settings and see if you could maybe connect with the speakerphone or something. It might help. It might help a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know we're gonna have
All
people
right, I've
coming on
got
right after
headphones at the
this.
moment.
Okay. We're gonna have people coming on even when we are off air to just see and just to listen actually to randoms to this amazing segment of tonight. So it would be good if they can hear you very well. So
Okay, the sound is really bad. The sound is terrible from my end, Fifi. I can barely hear you. I can barely
okay, I
make
can
out
hardly hear you. I
what you're
think
saying. I'm just moving to another section, maybe where the Wi-Fi might be better.
okay. Because you're also breaking now, so it might be a network thing. Might be a network thing. Yeah, so guys, as I was saying, before Beryl came on, I mean, yeah, a lot of people have problems, they have issues, and sometimes it's people that we can't do anything about. Like you have them, you just have to learn to manage. So how do you know not let issues of people affect you? How do you manage your relationships with people in such a way that whatever they may be going through does not become your issue? So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight with Beryl, and I just hope that we get to hear her, and I hope she'll fix the sound issue because she also can't hear me very well, but I really suspect it's a network issue. I really, really, really suspect it's a network problem. So let's just wait a little bit and see. Oh, this is can't hear me. Okay. Um. Wow, she can't hear me. She can't hear me. All right. I think what may happen is our guests. I think we're gonna lose our guest because of audio and network issues, I suppose. But I think she can stay in the comment section. She can actually stay with us and just, use the comment section to her advantage. It happens everywhere, guys. Network in Africa is generally a situation a lot of the time. It can be quite problematic. So, yeah, I found out that the host, she was working on filing a divorce after 8 years of separation. And so it helped me to understand what could be causing her to behave like this. And apart from just having her own character, I could also kind of relate and sympathize with the fact that she's probably in a lot of distress and she could be in denial herself because it was like I had all the problems, the way she was addressing me and talking to me and just handling me, everything led back to me. But in actual fact, you could tell that this person, this divorce is really, really, really taking a toll on her, So that's just one of the dynamics. And sometimes you have to move away from from that environment because now it's toxic. Anytime your peace is interfered with, you really wanna move away if possible. But now what happens in the case where you are in a situation like this and you can't do anything about it? You can't do anything about it. So that's the whole thing. So what do you do when you're in a situation where you can't get out? How do you stay? Like your parents, your guardians, your spouse, and so on and so forth. That's the thing that I wanted us to talk about with Beryl. Beryl is on with us, but we're having some issues just hearing her very well. So I think it's a network thing. Hopefully at a later stage she'll be able to connect again. So that's the thing. Guys, I learned something. It's a concept. It's a concept in psychology that therapists use and have, and I don't, I'm not a psychologist, so I cannot claim in any way that I've mastered anything that deals with psychology. But one of the things I do part-time is counseling. I just help people, and I apply one thing, and that is love. That's the love of God. And by the grace of God, we see results with that. So, but from a professional perspective, sorry guys, this is something that's moving over my toes. Yeah, from a professional psychologist perspective, there's something called emotional diffusion and emotional infusion. I think that's the first thing that we want to look at. Emotional diffusion means the ability to separate your emotions from the happenings in your surrounding. Sometimes we have emotional infusion. Emotional infusion means that my emotions and what is happening around me are one. It's like I see the happenings around me through the lens of my emotions. And so it's very easy to feel like when things happen, it's my fault. It's very easy to take on the blame when things don't go well with people, with our relationships. And so that is something that I personally had to learn to do, which is to diffuse emotionally. So I learned to be able to look at a situation from a distance and have it far away from me. And as an individual, as well as my emotions. And ever since I learned that, it really helped me a lot because I can easily decipher when the problem is with you and it's not with me. And also part of being, emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent is that you should also be able to tell when the problem is in you. But I think not a lot of us have mastered that thing. And it actually takes true humility to just say, hey, I have a problem and it's me and I'm sorry. It's not everybody that can do that. It just takes the grace of God. But that's another thing that we should have within us. We should be able to say, something, I have a problem and the problem is with me and in me, and I am the one that is causing damage to my relationships right now. So I learned that to diffuse emotionally is a very important thing. I grew up with, this mindset that when things go wrong in relationships or with people around me, it's my fault. And there's a reason why. When you grow up as a child and things are done and said to you constantly, when you are blamed a lot for things growing up as a child, it really just calls for self-blame. You adopt the mindset that things are generally your fault. So now, recently, I mean, like a few months ago, during the days of therapy, I had to learn. I had to learn to diffuse emotionally. So I had to appreciate and investigate within my past, within myself, to say, what is this? I'm so serious. So I had to, I'm sorry about that. I had to investigate within myself to say, hey, what is going on? Hi, Beryl.
Hi, Fifi. Okay, great. I just changed devices and this one sounds a lot clearer.
Nice.
Yes. Oh, I can hear you now.
Your
Gosh,
volume is still low, so I don't know. Is there anything you can try to do for me from your end?
okay, to increase the volume.
I'm
Is
so
that
happy to have you here. We'll keep trying. Don't worry. This is Africa. I know the network can just be, some way sometimes.
yes, that's true.
So I'm not worried at all. I'm just gonna be patient. Just gonna be patient.
Okay, how is the
So as a
volume now?
child, you oftentimes blame yourself for things that you grew up being blamed for, and it can follow you into your adulthood if care is not taken. So you really gotta be able to watch that and learn from it. Right, right. Let me see once again. Okay, are you there, Beryl?
Yes, I'm here. I had lost you for
Yay! Yeah, that was my network glitch right there. So it happens. It happens. This is Africa, and I'm used to it, and it doesn't even scare me at all.
awesome.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, my lady. How are you today?
I'm good, Fifi. It's been hot on this side of the equator.
Mm, it's very
But
hot. Now.
it is. It's very hot, but the evenings are getting quite cool. So I
Oh,
really
that's
can't
nice.
complain. And it's
That's
nice to be alive and healthy, COVID free. So there's always something to be,
exactly.
we might complain
Exactly.
about problems in Africa, but our COVID numbers are also quite low. So yeah, that's something thankful for.
Something to celebrate. That's so true. Yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine. She's in South Africa. She was saying she's so stressed and she doesn't know what she's gonna do. She's, financially stranded, but she's got loans and she's, worried about what she's gonna do for her kids. How's she gonna afford gifts and things? And I said, no. You just cut your jacket according to your size, girl. Why are you stressed out? If you can do things for your kids right now, like you've done before, you just communicate with them and say, hey, we can't do this right now, but we know one of these days we'll do it. And it's just as simple as that. You don't kill yourself because of, you want to do this for people. No, 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 no.
Oh,
Even if it's your kid. And it really, really, it was a big deal to her. And I said, the problem with us is oftentimes we succumb to the temptation to compare ourselves with others. Who have you seen?
the
Who are you
Joneses.
measuring yourself? Yes. And now you're so stressed. I don't even see the reason why you should be in this position. So look at the brighter side. Your parents are still alive. You're gonna get to be with them for festive, on Christmas Day. She said she's gonna do lunch with parents and kids and family. And I said that's a blessing to still have people around. We've buried so many people. People have lost parents this year.
Yes.
Others both parents to COVID. Yeah. So it's like you have so much to be grateful for. You're just worried over nothing, 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 nothing. And ungratefulness does not encourage God to bless us. It doesn't. It
No.
doesn't at all.
Yeah, it's important to put everything in perspective.
Exactly.
We all share of problems, weaknesses, shortcomings, challenges, but in the same vein, we also have our fair share of things to be grateful for, things that are going right. So it's about just having
Exactly.
perspective. And generally, they advise that when you're finding yourself in a low space like that, it's good to reach out and help someone whose circumstances are worse than yours.
Wow, wow,
Helps you see
wow.
that you have more than you realize you do.
Exactly. Because somebody's believing God to be where you are,
Mm,
and you don't even
absolutely.
notice. Wow. Wow. So when you are down, it's better to help somebody with
Exactly.
a situation. That's so
Yes.
good. I never knew this one.
Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
something we can give. It might be old clothes that your children don't fit anymore.
Exactly.
Even, things that you don't fit. We've all gained a bit of lockdown weight here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Out at least one
Exactly.
that you give to someone who actually needs it. Um,
Exactly.
that make a difference to how you view your own situation.
Exactly. That's so true. I wish she was here to just hear this. I just
You
wish
can
she was.
share with her later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Usually she's around, but I've not been able to stream on YouTube for some time just because I was out with Wi-Fi, so I just renewed my subscription recently, so that's the thing. So I think people are like, ah, where is this girl? But they'll catch up. It's okay. Thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here once again, Beryl. I really appreciate you. And I had already introduced you. I had already spoken about what you do and how people can reach out. Being on your Instagram page, I I mentioned your personal page, Bellona.Beryl, and your business page as well, professional presence Zim. So I think people could always reach out to you if they have questions, and if they're interested in just doing business with you and enrolling in one of your courses. I think you've got a good thing going. And let me just take this time to appreciate you and say you've come a long way. And I never thought that I would be where I am today, with regard to my content creation. And I know that you're probably looking at your journey so far and you're like, wow, I think a lot has happened in a short space of time by the grace of God, you know? So you
that's
continue to, yeah, you really
thank
inspire me. You, yeah, you're welcome. You inspire me. You continue to do so much great delivery in your craft. And I'm always just following you on Instagram, like, oh my word, oh my word. I saw the other day people were graduating. I was like, wow, this is a number. Just the other day, you and I were talking about, something, even two students are a number, and there you are with like a train of women graduating, and you guys looked so amazing.
you, Fee.
So, I mean, congratulations. I mean, you're doing well. You're doing well.
Thank you. That means a lot. And it's so nice to be part of a tribe of women where you encourage each other. The
Yeah.
trend right now, we just, trying to be the one with the most followers and have the most active pages and be doing the most. And it's a rare,
Mm,
somebody
mm,
who is in your corner as a fellow woman, and collaborating.
mm.
We've done some things and we're looking forward to doing more. So it's
Yeah.
been a given destiny helper kind of experience meeting you. and
Yeah.
and the we
Oh,
actually met pretty much online. We've
exactly.
never met, but just hit it off, in terms of our faith, our general value systems, what we want out of life, and what we're trying to
Mhm.
achieve. So
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
and also really just in awe of what you've managed to do on YouTube.
Oh, thank you so much, Beryl. You know something, it's not been easy for me as well. My YouTube journey, remember, I started taking it seriously only last year. And by the grace of God, just the other day, just last month, that's when I finally managed to monetize it. And would you believe me if I told you that all my content creation is with my phone, with my main phone? And this is a personal phone, it's been a business phone, it's been a work phone, it's been a content creation phone. And any content creator will tell you that I must be sick in the mind to be doing all this with one phone. But by the grace of God, here I am. I think we've hit more than 100 videos also on YouTube. And so I'm just so grateful. And as I speak to you right now, we are streaming live on Facebook on Makeup with FifiRich, as well as on YouTube. So that's good because I foresee a time where we'll be able to stream live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all at once. And so that's what I'm working towards. And this festive, particularly, I just want to incorporate the Facebook family more and more and more, let them know what's going on. Because I feel like that kind of left out when I'm always on YouTube. And the Instagram people are always also left out. So I'm just thinking of ways to just incorporate them. And for me, I realized something. Once I monetized, it was like, girl, it's not about the money. There's a
Mm.
bigger why. Yeah, there's a bigger why. For me doing this, it's not just about it. The money is good to have the extra bucks, from what you're doing and from impacting lives and doing what you love. But it's not the primary reason why I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Because if it's money, I'd have long had reason to quit. Because I've had struggles. I mean, there's times I've stayed without being able to post because I didn't have Wi-Fi, I didn't have this, but I just kept pushing. And until I realized late last year that, until you make do with what you have, girl, this thing is never going to go anywhere. So I was like, no, let's just do this, let's just do this. And now here we are. And just the other day we were talking, you and I, um and we met through Jackie, right? And we
Yeah.
started talking and we hit it up. And she, I'm sure she'd be very proud to hear this conversation right now. I should just share the link with her. Actually, she would be very proud to know that we've made good strides together. And I believe
Yeah.
that the God, yeah, yeah, sorry, you were saying.
I'm saying yes, that we've come this far in terms of our walk, in our
Yeah.
business, just at a social
Mm,
level, being able to
exactly.
connect and get along, find common ground. We're in two different
Yeah,
countries,
you
we're
see.
age demographics, and yet you and I can speak for hours and find common ground and areas where we can
Exactly.
inspire, hopefully they inspire others as well, and just show them that
Exactly.
anything is possible. You've said, Fifi, because
Exactly.
it is true. I remember us about how you had one device, and yet this
Yeah.
is what you wanted to do. You wanted YouTube, you wanted to live stream, and it's just a
Yeah.
testimony to how, like, God will say, show me what's in your hand. What is in your hand? What is it that you have that you can start
Yes.
with? um,
Yeah.
in my own business, for example, my background is in human resources. um,
Yeah.
I was retrenched from my formal job in corporate after having worked for like 15 years in corporate.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always loved aesthetics, everything to do with beauty. And after I was managed out by retrenchment, I didn't want anything to do with corporate, and I decided to enroll into beauty school. Like, I just wanted
Mm-hmm.
something creative to do.
Yeah, of
And I did
course.
it, and
Wow.
I've had used both
Mm.
my human resources qualifications, knowledge, skills, and the aesthetics knowledge. What I learned about
Wow.
beauty has actually enabled me to be really good at image consulting, because that's about the total person, not just their appearance, but their behavior, their communication as well, their mindset, their attitude, all those elements. Because I
Exactly.
had that in my hand, I was able to turn
Exactly.
it into something tangible. I remember
Exactly.
explaining to you earlier that profession, is now not just about image. Um, it's also about the beauty academy. It's about impacting young adults through the finishing school. There several elements to it, and juggling all those has
Yeah.
been a labor of love to some extent. But like you said as well, you realize it's not just about the money, because if it were just about the money,
Mm-hmm.
I should have just shut down
Mm.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
stayed
Yeah.
rolled into my blankets and just covered my head. Money
Mm-hmm.
does
That,
make sense. Sometimes, the reality is it's about the passion. It's about you knowing
yeah.
that every day you step out there and you do what it is God told you to do. You're making a difference. You're changing even one life.
Ex-
You're inspiring somebody to realize
exactly. And that's
what is
something.
possible. People will then say, "If you could do it, then surely I can." Or I never thought it would be
Exactly.
possible to have a YouTube channel
Oh my word.
to,
Yeah.
reach across continents and friends, networks globally. But you've made it possible. You've actually
Yes.
broken a barrier. I'm sure even if you look in your family,
Yes. That's so
no
true.
one has done that. You're a setter.
Wow.
You're a
Oh.
pioneer. You've something
Oh.
phenomenal and something new. Everyone coming after you
Wow.
going to have to fill
Wow.
your big shoes. Is going to have to exceed
Mm.
already achieved. It's phenomenal, Fifi, and
Wow.
really,
Thank
totally,
you.
and absolutely, you're right. It's not, but at the right time, the money will come.
Exactly. I just realized that I was like, no, this, there's a bigger thing to this than just money. I mean, for me, it's all about the impact. And something, Beryl, sometimes when
Oh,
you've had a live stream and people are inboxing you and they're saying, something, that thing which you posted, it has impacted my life, it has touched my life, I am changed. When you see women doing that, you're doing something. And something, you're also going to realize and hear people say, some are silent watchers, others are silent followers. They're not going to come out and say something, but you are really, really, really doing something impactful in their lives. So you can't give up even when it's rough. It's not like we don't have challenges when we come up here, in front of so many people all over the world. This is just an exposure to so many countries. We'll have like Belgium, will have Nigerians all over the diaspora, will have America, everybody. But it's not like there's no challenges, Beryl. But one of the things that's gonna keep me strong even beyond today is just knowing that don't quit because you might disappoint a whole generation. So it's very, very important. And I thank you so much for your words. It's another way of looking at it to say I've broken barriers. There's nobody that's
true.
done what I'm doing, and you're so correct. You know, because Beryl, if you look at as this is how I look at it. When I was making an analysis with my followers just the other day, I was taking stock and I was saying, okay, if there's, let's say, 1,000 on YouTube, and because I'm working on, on growing my subscribers now also. If there's 1,000 on YouTube and there's 2,000 on
Okay.
Instagram and there's 2,000 friends on Facebook, how many is that? How many people are that? And also on Facebook, my makeup with FifiRich page has like 800 and something followers. So we're talking about anything close to
Okay.
6,000 people. Yeah. And when it's anything close to 6,000 people,
Wow. Yeah.
roughly. And I thought about this Burial and I said, if I put all these people in a hall, I'd need a very big space. I'd need a very, very big
Oh
arena.
yeah.
So I was like, this is something that helps me to take it seriously. And I always tell my followers when I talk to them, I say, to me, you're not just a statistic, you are a real person. It's not just about the numbers. So I don't even mind, even if the views are
Mm.
few, even if the view, yeah, one video may have more views, one video may have less, but you see those ones that came on, because I'm always praying, Lord, let the ones that are for this come here. The ones that is supposed to touch this thing, let them come. It shouldn't just be any random people. That's one of my prayers. So I have to continue to yield to God also. And I thank you for those words, because it's another way of seeing it, of looking at it, and it helps me to appreciate God the more. So I really thank God. I'm so grateful to God. So grateful. Especially in Botswana, being a YouTuber, a young YouTuber in Botswana is not easy, because people generally don't have access to YouTube. Generally, it's not a thing. They generally have access to Facebook because it's cheaper, and YouTube requires more expensive, data. So it's another dynamic. So we really, really have
Okay.
to, yeah. So I'm so grateful. And also, Beryl, when you were talking about image consultancy, I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast that I have actually worked with you, and I love your services. And yesterday I was talking with a friend of mine about you. I have a friend, she just got summoned with divorce papers just the other day. This is like probably, I think last week,
Okay.
yeah, I think last week Friday. And she's dealing with the whole thing of having to move out. She has a baby literally a few months old, like 3, 4 months. And this is happening,
Oh,
and I'm so serious.
wow.
And she's, yeah, it's so traumatic for her also. Like, and I said, one of the things, girl, don't lose touch with your femininity. One of these days, you have to make an intentional effort to spoil yourself. Go get a massage. Go get your manicure done. Get a pedicure. Get a facial. Just get in touch with your femininity, because this thing can just about kill you to the point where you don't even know if you're a woman anymore, or a log. So I said, and one of the things you should look forward to, I'm gonna make sure that you connect with Beryl, so that you can work on your style more. And I told her exactly
Yes.
what you do as an image consultant. And I said it's gonna help you also in your healing process, to just get in touch again with your femininity. It's very important, girl. So you should be even better than ever before. And
Yeah.
and and, and
Not just her, just just
come
getting in
again.
touch with who she is authentically, because being a mom
Mhm.
is a big change. Um, being married, big life change. Being divorced is a big life change. So she's
Yeah.
dealing with two huge life changes. And as image consultants, we often work with people going through normally things like divorce, gaining weight
Wow.
after childbirth, losing your
Mm,
job, or having to change industries and having to adapt to a totally new industry. My
wow.
first image consultancy job, Fifi, was actually with my
Mm,
dad. My dad was a headmaster at a government school for like
mm,
20 years, and then he retired
mm,
at the age of 65. But he
mhm.
was still energetic, vibrant, and obviously he still needed to work. And
Yeah.
his friends in the private sector then invited him to teach
Mhm.
at a private school. And he
Wow.
had to do a shift high every day at assembly, being the headmaster, to now being a grade 7 teacher teaching maths and English at a private school where you would
Wow.
wear your shorts and maybe a golf shirt. Was a
Oh,
total
yeah.
shift for him. And I remember doing that
Yeah.
even before I was qualified. It's only I,
Wow.
qualified that I looked and said, oh wow, that's actually what I did for dad. It wasn't just the
Yeah.
makeover, it was also having to have a mindset shift from government school
Yeah.
environment, private school environment,
Mm,
and
wow.
just having to fit in to that
Mhm.
uh, environment and dynamic.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
Beryl, like
image consultancy is
it,
definitely a system that's good for life change.
yeah, exactly. And it's like it's therapeutic. Just hearing you talk about this, I feel like there's an element of therapy that one can derive also from that, because clearly you deal with people that are going through different traumas in life, you know. So I think it's very therapeutic in that you get to really
Yes,
find
absolutely.
yourself again.
True.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I've mentioned so many times, I love beautiful things. I love beautiful spaces. I love to look beautiful. I love beautiful settings. It's just things
Mm,
that appeal to my nature. And I remember when
yeah.
I had a life coach and we were discussing spiritual gifts. Um,
Mhm,
and this life coach, her name is Laurie Thompson, actually
mhm,
made me come to a realization that this love of beauty is actually one of my spiritual gifts. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to feel,
mhm.
that it's too extra or too much. It's actually a gift that God
Exactly.
gave me to be able to identify, to utilize in elements. And,
Yeah.
from that time, from just having that exposure, I do treat it as my ministry. So yes, it's therapeutic. It's some form of counseling. I think anything that you use to focus on yourself, to look inwardly, to
Mm.
to look into your to be intimate with your own self and your own being is therapeutic.
Wow.
It's a form of
Yeah.
counseling because we have to do a lot of
Mhm.
listening. We have to pro really find out why it is a person has come, because sometimes a person will tell you why they're there for the consultation, but by the end of
Yeah.
the first 2 hour session, you've discovered that there are a lot of other issues, or several other issues perhaps, um, that are bigger than the reason why they've initially come. So
Yeah.
yes, definitely the therapeutic aspect is there.
Yeah, Beryl. That's so true. Because I remember when we were doing my sessions with you, um, I was also dealing with a lot of things at the same time. Like I never had an easy year, honestly. It was just one battle after another after another. And I remember I used to tell you, okay, this is happening. Okay, this is happening. you know and like you were like, don't worry,
Yeah.
you'll get over it, we'll do this and it'll get better, and it did actually. And I just want to say to you that even recently, when I was at the temporary work engagement that I left for, I got some clothes. I got some, secondhand clothes. Yeah, just handed over to me by the first host that I had, and it was good because I was able to make well-informed choices. I was able to receive things that I knew,
Yeah.
and I could tell even from our consultations that this is gonna look good on me, you know. And when I started putting them on, trying them on, hey,
Yeah.
it's like they were just made for me. And I was like, oh my word. So I know one of these days you'll be, I mean, I hope one of these days we'll do a live,
Yeah.
actual live, where we're also showing our faces, and I'll just put on a few things for you so that you can appreciate it. So it's just amazing. It's really just amazing once you can own your personality game, and you really get to play around with, like, the whole narrative, the whole my attitude, my approach towards my wardrobe also changed after our sessions. So I just really play around with things, so effortlessly, and I'm just having a great time with that. Although I don't go out a lot, but I mean,
And I love
wow.
that. Yes. Oh well, eventually, yeah, we'll all go out a lot. I love that you mentioned that, the clothes you got were actually secondhand or pre-loved clothes, if we can call them
Yeah.
that. And it's great to demystify the fact that You don't have to have brand new clothes or,
Mm-mm.
expensive brands or have spent a fortune to look good. What you need is to
Mm-mm.
actually know what looks good on your body, which colors suit
Exactly.
your skin undertone, um, which
Exactly.
suit your face shape.
Yeah.
What accentuates your figure and your body, which features you need to
Exactly.
play down and which ones you need to focus on. So yeah,
Exactly.
you know those basics. You really don't need to be spending thousands of dollars.
Mm-mm.
You
Yeah. Yeah, Beryl. That's so
get the
amazing. And
pre-loved clothing and
yeah.
look phenomenal. So justify
Yeah.
for people who think, oh, I have a lot of money to be well
Mm.
styled or
No,
to
not
look
even.
good in any sense. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Exactly, Beryl. And my content creation work, my makeup artistry, it speaks to beginners when it comes to makeup, and it speaks to people that are on a budget, middle income, low
Yes.
income, people that want to look and feel good without spending a fortune. That's the kind of people my makeup artistry speaks to, and I'm sure they can always relate even when I come on live, because you see, the thing also with the work that I do, I gotta be authentic. I want people to see me for who I am and understand my lifestyle for what it is. That's when I can truly, truly, truly inspire people. I can't be what I'm not. So I just tell them, hey, you know something? Get some shea butter, make a face toner with the rice in your house, okay? And it's just cheap, cheap things, but they go
Yes.
a long way. It doesn't have to be expensive, but sometimes you look at my skin, you're like, girl, what are you doing? And I'll be like, I have a rice water toner. I mean, when I can't get a proper stuff, yeah, from Clicks or wherever, if I run out of products, I'm just gonna make things from home. I can make a honey and sugar scrub, and it's gonna be just as good as if it was coming from wherever. So those are the kind of things that speak to people. People should be able to relate with you, with your lifestyle. And I believe a lot of the youth in my country, they should be able to relate to my lifestyle, because it's not so different from theirs. But they should know that they can make it, they can be whatever they want to be, regardless of where they come from, what they've experienced. Is just really up to them to break through and break barriers, like you were saying earlier on. And it matters who they surround themselves with, because you become what you spend time on, or who you spend time with. Yeah. So I'm just so grateful to have you saying all these things. So I spoke to my friend about you, and I said, I'm gonna make sure that you do this, girl. Right now, let's get you together. You have to find a house from scratch. She said she's leaving everything. She doesn't even want a fridge, a spoon, not even a fork from that house. She says she's taking her baby, even the clothes. She said, even my clothes, I don't care. I was like, oh, my friend. She said, I don't care. I don't want anything. I don't want anything. Just taking my baby and going. I will start afresh. So she just got an apartment recently, and something. This is it's a tragic thing to go through, but by the grace of God, she'll make it. I managed to connect her with some therapists, so I think she'll be starting therapy very soon as well, so that she can just start to just recuperate gradually. At least she's not in denial, you know, when it comes to the idea of having somebody to talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage to make that step. To say,
Yeah.
one, I'm leaving. Two, I'm leaving with nothing but clothes on my back and my baby.
Mm,
That's really huge. So I
yes.
commend a woman with a mind made up, and that's
Yeah.
capable.
Yes.
So we probably have more to learn from her than
Yeah.
she realizes,
Yes.
because
I'll
not
tell
many
her that.
that leap of faith to say, you know, start from scratch. I'll, do it on my own. I'll
On my
depend
own.
on God for the
Ye-
provision. So I'm
Yes.
actually
Hey, so I try to check on her every day and all that.
I can't
But anyway,
just,
yeah, sorry, come again. Sorry, you were saying it just broke.
I was saying I can't wait to speak to her and do a session with her.
Yes, I also can't wait. And I just said,
I was
even if
saying
you
I
need,
can't wait to speak to her and do
yes,
a
yes, yeah, yeah. I'm sure she's looking forward also. And I'm sure she's also looking forward to that. And I also said, something, don't even be afraid to just travel. Come over to me. Let's just do a road trip, have a great time, just drive over and anything that gets you just, you know, reviving again is it's gonna be ideal for me. So I'm gonna see her, I believe, soon enough, and I'm definitely gonna get you guys together. I'm gonna do that. Support on steroids.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much power in the support of, when I look at my own environment. In fact, I was listening to something the other day. It was talking about how everyone should have six people in their life, really, the six that
Hmm.
have inspired them, have propelled them to move forward. And even, when I
Hmm.
think of it, as women, we need to have more of those being other women, because they support
Exactly.
us at a deeper level. They know
Yeah,
more
Beryl.
about, for example, when you spoke about your friend,
Hmm.
I was being a married, I was also, just thinking deeply on what it actually took for her to having women around you support you, just you being there to invite her to come for a time of refreshing and fellowship and worship and whatever else you're going to do. That's phenomenal, Fifi. And
Exactly. Thank you so much. And prayer. I created a group just yesterday. We've got a few women on there that are mothers and some that are aspiring mothers like myself. And we're going to be praying for children and, securing the futures of our children and any other business that comes on. And like, I think this just goes to say it's very important for women to connect in such regards. But also, while you're saying that, I think it's going to take us back to the topic of today, to why we're here, because it also should be the right women, because I was saying earlier on that I'm currently just doing some kind of study on women. And one of the things I'm finding is some of the women that we come across as younger ladies are the most dangerous creatures on this planet, Beryl.
mm,
I mean, sometimes you'd
friendly
rather sleep with a
enemies.
snake. Ah, ah, I'm so serious. So I was just connecting this with the yeah, I'm connecting this with the topic of today to say, how do you not let somebody's issues become your issues? How to not let people's problems affect you? Because one of the things I was going through, I've been subjected to quite a lot of verbal, emotional, psychological abuse where I was in the past few months, where I was accommodated. Where I went to the first month, it was with a woman and she had issues, Burial. I mean, I was restricted even with cutlery. I mean, cutlery. How do you tell a person my age not to eat, using this plate because I can break it? I mean, I've seen things. Man, I was just sharing on that earlier on to say,
Mm,
but yeah, you'll see all these things going on. And at the end of the day, there's a way that you'll notice that this thing is not about me. This person has problems within themselves. They could be in denial, they could be in stress, but
Oh,
they
yes.
have their own issues. Yeah. And guess what? Now this lady, she was dealing with a divorce. She was, the time I arrived at her house, she was just about to file for a divorce after an 8 year separation with the so-called husband. And I was wondering, Beryl, maybe you can help me. What takes a
Okay.
woman 8 years to file a divorce? What are you waiting for the whole time? 8 years to file a divorce?
Wow. To be honest, I can't answer that because it could be so many things. It could be fear of the
Mm,
unknown. It could be perhaps she was hoping it could be just a lack of confidence in her own abilities to move forward.
oh, yeah.
So there are so many issues that could cause that. It could be perhaps the and didn't want, because there's some men who refuse to be eaten, who want to have their cake and eat it. So there are so many
Mhm.
elements to it that we just don't know.
True.
But in terms of the topic in itself, um, one of the things I have learned through experience and also learned through going for counseling myself, being coached, because I strongly believe he needs coaches and mentors and just people who speak wisdom into your life.
That's right.
One thing I've learned is that hurt people, abused people
Exactly.
often end up hurting others. So, on the face of it, when someone is unreasonable or making like that, what I've often found is have self control myself in the situation, and
Mm-hmm.
bringing my mind to a space where I remind myself that it's about them, it's not about, it's about them and their hurt,
Exactly.
their trauma, their issues,
Exactly. That's so true. Cause
and not about me. And it's a
yeah,
choice for me to get that. So swept in, but it's a continuous learning process where you're continuously having to remind yourself it's not about me, it's about them and their issues and their hurt and their pain. Um, and also just,
exactly.
as I said, being intentional about, and always say this about swearing. For me,
Mm-hmm.
swearing is totally unnecessary. I feel people should be able to
Mm.
express themselves without having to revert to vulgar. I don't shout vulgarities at someone. If they are shouting them at
And
me, I
then
don't have to
yeah, yeah,
stoop
you
to
don't have
their
to stoop
level
that
to
low.
do
Yeah.
things. So in the same way, what, yeah, whatever situation that somebody may be throwing at you,
Yeah.
you have a choice as to whether or not you're going to stoop to that level and do what they're doing. It's things like getting into a cat fight, um, uh,
Yeah.
or just engaging in behavior that in your normal, sane, healthy state, you know you would not do.
Yeah. Exactly. Cause
It
also
takes time
burial
and practice,
like
and unfortunately, the reality is,
uh-huh.
even though sometimes or in my case, I know what I do, how not to make somebody else say, "Oh, how did I
Mm.
end up in this situation?" Beryl, you know
Yeah.
better. You shouldn't
Exactly.
have reacted that way. You shouldn't have responded. But it's still
Yeah.
okay because it means you're conscious.
Yeah. I was just saying earlier on
And
that one of the things,
in that, it's also about developing a teachable spirit, because
yeah.
you have a Okay, you can go ahead, Fifi. I think there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah, there
You were
is.
saying early
Sorry.
on.
No, I'm just saying. I was just saying that earlier on, one of the things I was talking about is a concept that I came across from a psychological professional perspective. Not that I'm a psychologist myself, but one of the things I do is just part-time counseling, especially for women. So I learned there is this thing called emotional diffusion. Yeah, from a psychological perspective, emotional diffusion is when you learn to detach yourself from um the immediate surrounding and its happenings, and you learn to look at yourself as a separate entity from what's going on around you. That's how you can see when things that are happening and treatment that you're getting from people is not really about you. But when you have emotional infusion, it means that your emotions and everything that's going on, everything that's happening to you is one. So you look at your issues through the lens of your emotions. So oftentimes it's very easy to blame yourself. Does it make sense? You blame yourself for what's going on, for what people are doing. And I was like, wow, I used to be like that because I grew up as a child who had to deal with, taking responsibility for a lot of things going wrong. So I had to, in this year, recently just unlearn that to be a false narrative in my life. It's not a truth that when a relationship goes wrong, I'm on the wrong. It's not a truth that when somebody has been abusive to me, it's my fault. No, but I learned that people actually have problems and they have real situations, and we got to learn how to just separate ourselves from them. So my biggest issue becomes with this lady that I was hosted by. At least she's not my relative, she's not my mother, she's nothing. I lost my peace. Initially I thought I was going to be able to just survive it for like a month or 2 months at least. But it got to a point where now one morning I woke up and my peace was just gone and out. I was like, no, I have to do something now. So that's how I left. But tell me if this was a situation I have to live with, go through with, breathe every single day of my life, because maybe this is somebody I can get rid of, like a parent, a mother, a spouse. So how do you then manage such dynamics?
By managing yourself. I think ultimately the only one you can really, to a large role is yourself and your own.
Mm-hmm.
Because another human being so complex and so dynamic,
Yeah,
be
that's right.
sure of anyone. I that, for example, the word tells us that the Lord is faithful. And it seems like a
Mm-hmm.
simple thing to just say he is faithful. You are faithful, oh God. You know that song that we sing
Yeah.
at church. But we don't
Yes.
realize how it is. Like, even if you look at yourself, Fifi, there are times when people are not faithful to your own self.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
let yourself down. So what more
Mm.
somebody else who has their own issues,
Ish.
own traumas, their
Mm.
dynamics, their own problems, childhood issues, situations where you cannot change and you are
Mm.
there, whether you like it or not. The only one you can really is yourself. And again, using the example of your friend who literally just said, I'm done enough, my emotional bank is I'm leaving.
Mm.
It didn't
Yeah.
take anybody else for her to do
Yeah.
that. That's what she
Yeah.
she needed to do for
True.
herself. Uh, because you're right, we have parents that also had trauma, and I,
Yeah.
from where I come from, you can't divorce your parents.
Yeah.
Parent, you still have,
Mm.
but how you choose to do that in response and in the context of your own values, who you know you are. And for me, as a person of faith, I found it easier in those moments to go back into my closet and say, Lord, you know who I am. You know who I am in you. So even if it's a case of somebody's abusive, somebody's accusation, if you can go into your private closet and say, Lord, you know who Bellona Beryl is. I am not who, whatever the world may be saying, or
Painting me to be.
whichever person who has power and authority. Like,
That's right.
um,
Mm.
it has helped me personally. Or not in
Wow.
life, are going to encounter those issues, those situations
Yeah.
we don't like. But it's all about coming back to center, coming back, knowing who you, um, outside of other people. I love the terms that you just spoke about, the emotional diffusion and infusion. And I'm gonna read about them a lot more. But
Yeah.
certainly,
Yeah.
Fifi, it's all about you.
Managing
I had
yourself.
mentioned earlier that developing a teachable spirit has,
Yeah.
has also been helpful to me. Just knowing that you don't think that there's a lot more to learn, a lot that you don't see or don't know. But
Yeah.
when you have that desire to submit to like some kind of learning process, especially on how, sometimes it might be how you affect others,
Yeah.
how you relate to others, that may be affecting them in some kind of when you told me the topic, my mind also looked at another dimension, which is sometimes we are affected by other people's issues where those issues are positive. Let me explain what I mean. For example,
Okay.
someone else, it could be your friend whose marriage is going well, fabulous wedding, they're pregnant with twins or triplets, and they've just gotten a mortgage to buy a house. Everything is going well for them, but not for you.
Yeah.
That situation can affect you as well. A situation that's
Wow.
not necessarily negative
Mm.
can
Hmm. A situation that is
also
not necessarily
result
negative,
in
Beryl, can affect me in a negative way now.
things, emotions, reactions yourself. But yeah, yeah, yes,
Wow.
because you
Wow.
could be
That's
there. We mentioned issues, or even condemn yourself and saying, "But why am I not where that person is? Why do I not have what they have?
yeah.
What is wrong with me?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's just coming back to coming back to who you are. What your values
Yeah.
are, and maybe it might you to set goals, uh, to put more effort in certain areas. Again, as image consultants, this is where we can come in and guide and say, okay, perhaps what you need to do, you know dress better,
Yeah.
improve your grooming,
Mm. Mm.
improve your mindset, your attitude
Yeah. That's so true, Beryl.
towards things.
Wow. One of the things I
So
like to guard
ultimately,
women against is
everything, whether positive or
comparison.
negative, other people are going through can affect, and it it just becomes about
Yeah. Is it the network? Well, we're gonna have to wait a little bit because of the network. Beryl, are you there? Okay, I think we lost her just a little, but while she's gonna come back, I think I love what she's saying so far. She's speaking mostly on the concept of you have to manage yourself in dealing with people with issues and not letting their issues affect you. I was talking about emotional diffusion. Separate yourself. I was saying you have to learn how to separate yourself from what is going on around you, from what people are doing and what is causing them, and what could really be the issue within them, you know.
Yes,
So
and
self
we do compare.
separate. Yeah,
We
yeah, we do
compare a
compare.
lot, and you know,
Yeah.
it's media doesn't help
The media doesn't help. Yeah.
because
Yeah. I think it's just a bit of a network thing, but wow, we've really done a lot. I mean, 1 hour,
you
30 minutes.
go on
Beryl, you're breaking on that side. You're
to
breaking. So
instant your the deeply, if you're breaking again.
you're also breaking on my end. I don't know if it's
Uh,
a mutual network issue, but I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
uh,
Yeah. But I get it. I mean, Beryl is just talking about the importance of self-management in any given scenario, and she does acknowledge that sometimes
it's
it's
good
our
after the
parents.
being physically. I also go with comparison. Yeah, but I don't think any woman really whether it's
Yeah, Beryl, just hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
oh,
on, hold on. You're actually
okay.
breaking.
Can you hear me
Just hold
now?
on. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now, Fifi?
Yes, please.
Okay, great.
Yes, please. I can hear you. So separate yourself. You need to separate yourself. Okay, okay. Beryl, I think for now, for now, I think maybe it's okay. But if I get you back, I want to just introduce the issue. I mean, after the issue of learning to
So,
separate yourself from what's going
so
on
we were
with
talking
people.
about comparing yourself with others.
Yeah. Okay. But I think we're having some issues. I think we're having some issues. Maybe we can
Okay.
just pause here for today. Yeah, but I also wanted to talk about how about in talking about one should learn how to separate themselves from people's issues and acknowledge that what this person is doing, the attitude, the behaviorism, so the behavioral pattern, the mannerism is not about me, but it's all about them. And learning to manage yourself, like you say, when you're in a situation where it's a relationship that you cannot do anything about, you have to learn to manage yourself within the context of being there, you know. But then I also wanted us to talk about how about when it is me and I am the one that has the issues, is there a way I can, acknowledge how do I see when I'm actually the problem, and that if I don't deal with myself or get help or whatever, I might just push the most important people away, you know. So I wanted us to talk about that, but I don't know if the network is gonna let us get that far, but I really would want us to look into that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So otherwise, I think we can we can carry it over. We can carry it over to another part to another part next week, Tuesday. Beryl, if you don't mind, if you are gonna be available, we can just carry it over to next week, Tuesday, because randoms, I like having it on Tuesdays. I like having randoms on Tuesdays, just like Mary Who's Ready on Fridays in the evenings. So if you don't mind, we can stop here. And let me just thank you so much, Beryl, for coming. I really appreciate you, my lady. Thank you so much for the words that you spoke concerning me and my journey. I'm so inspired. And I want you to know that I'm inspired by you, by your work. One wise man the other day was saying to young men and women in ministry, be humble and respectful and learn without being taught. And Beryl is one of those women that I observe from a distance, from across the border, and I continue to learn from her without being taught. So she is that kind of a woman for me, and I thank God for her. And I will reach out to her just to
That's a
find out if
really
she.
important topic, because often it's easy for us to apportion blame to someone else. When
So I think we lost Beryl just because of what's going on her end. And Beryl, I'm so sorry, but let's just break from here because you're breaking and we can't really hear you properly. We will do a carryover, my lady. Don't worry. We're always here. We're always here to learn and to grow I mean, to grow together and to learn from each other. So thank you so much, Beryl, for being here. Um, you guys, my Facebook fam, I thank you all for being here. I'd love, 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 um, I'd love if you guys can comment. Let me know what you thought about this live stream about randoms, where we were talking about one random concern with this issue of how to not let people's problems affect you. Okay, did you learn something? Separate yourself and manage yourself. But if it is life threatening, if it is something that gets to the point where your life can be lost, please, by all means, you really want to do something about it or move away. Okay, your life is very precious. Don't lose your life over things that you should not lose your life over. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. And I just want to let you guys know that there's the FifiRich makeup brush set. I have a bold black makeup brush set of my own. You guys can DM me, get with me, WhatsApp me for that. My WhatsApp numbers are always available on Facebook, and those on YouTube. You can always email me or reach out on Instagram or one of the platforms in the description box below. And I do makeup consultation. I do face beads. You can book. I deal with personal branding, but kind of on an elementary basis. I deal with skincare, makeup tutorials as well. Okay, on my YouTube channel, there's makeup tutorials, and you are gonna love them because they are beginner friendly. So WhatsApp me on 765169943 for a quick response and for feedback on what you thought, or just leave a comment and feel free to share this broadcast. You never know who you're helping, so please just share. Others are going to be silent watchers, silent beneficiaries. They're never going to really, come out and say, but it's really, really helping them. Okay, so I am available and I'm very approachable. Always feel free to leave a message. I may take a bit of time, but I will get back to you guys. Remember, I'm managing multiple platforms, so there's always something to do. So, but I'm very approachable. Don't ever hesitate just to leave a message or an email, okay? And if you want a discovery call concerning your makeup artistry, you say hey, I just want to upgrade and enhance on my makeup game, just always feel free to reach out. Once again, the guest of today, Bellona Beryl, you can reach her on Instagram, Bellona.Beryl, Bellon Beryl, Bellona.Beryl on Instagram, or her business page on Instagram, Professional Presence Zim. Okay, guys, she's based in Zimbabwe. If for any reason or in any way you are in Zimbabwe and you are gonna access this recording even once we're off air, please feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out. They do so much. You are in for a surprise and for a great experience with them. Okay. Remember, like I said earlier on, they deal with children and young adults, and they have a beauty academy which does training for beauty courses, including makeup artistry, nail tech, massage, braiding, weaving, and so on. So get with them. Beryl owes me a t-shirt for Professional Presence. I actually think it's a sweater. I don't know. I've seen her wearing something so beautiful, but I think it was long sleeved. She owes me that, and a hamper for the students. So I just can't wait to unbox. I don't know. I don't know if she keeps forgetting, but I'm waiting. I'll wait patiently. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, my Facebook fam. I was streaming live on Facebook for the first time, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy for those of you that managed to pass by. And if you're gonna see this after this, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you're on YouTube, please follow my page. If you're on Facebook, I love you guys, and see you soon. Thank you so much, Beryl. Good night. Good night, guys. Take